Hi, thanks for joining me. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Andy, a former guest, elder, deacon, and board chair, but most importantly, a current member here at First Christian Church Burbank. You're probably wondering what I have to say to you today, and it has a lot to do with our 130-year anniversary that we recently celebrated. A couple of Sundays ago, many of you were able to join us in person or online as we celebrated a historical landmark of our church history. And we're also celebrating the next 130 years, and that's where you can come in. The following Sunday after our celebration, I challenged each one of you to give $130. My exact challenge was, if I could get 100 people to give $130, that would give $13,000 of extra income for our church. Now you may be wondering, why does the church need money? Don't you have plenty of it? Well, if we did, I wouldn't be here asking you today. But let me tell you a little bit about what our giving does here at First Christian Church of Burbank. It doesn't just keep the lights on. It doesn't pay for the air conditioner to run. It doesn't pay Brandon's salary. I mean, did you see his car when he had a duct tape mirror? What it does is it actually spreads the love that God has given us out into our community through warm meals, through actual shelters to residents in Tijuana, Mexico, to coats, to sandwiches, packed in little lunch bags here once a month on the first Saturday. It gives hope, it gives life, but most of all, your giving gives God's love. A few Sundays ago, when I made this challenge, I actually talked about my grandmother on my dad's side. But right now, I'd like to tell you about my grandmother on my mother's side, who is a very different person. She didn't have a lot of worldly possessions, but I'm sure the treasures that she laid up in heaven are far more than any of us could fathom. I remember specifically that on the first of each month when she got her check, she would have someone drive her to the bank, cash her check so she could pay her bills, and as soon as she got back in the car, she would open that bank envelope and take out her money for church, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again, and place it in her tattered leather wallet and put it back in her purse. She wouldn't tell anyone what she was doing. She didn't tell anyone what it was for, but we all knew. And then the next Sunday morning, when the offering plate passed around, she would gently take her little piece of money and place it in the offering plate. Because she grew up Church of God, and while they taught a lot of crazy things, like women can't cut their hair or wear pants or anything like that, one of the great things that they taught is that tithing and giving to God is important. And that's a lesson that my grandmother instilled in me. She also said, little is much when God is in it. I don't know how much that money was each month that she gave. I doubt that it kept the lights on in the church. It probably put barely a dent in the pastor's salary. But that first Sunday of every single month of every year of her life, that little piece of money was dropped in an offering plate. When my grandmother passed away, she had been sick for a while and wasn't able to go to church, and my mom was going through her purse, and when she opened her wallet, sure enough, from every month that she was sick was that little piece of money that belonged to God. So you see, you may think $130 doesn't go a long way. And in today's world, it doesn't, especially here in LA. $130 is a Sunday brunch right after church. But if 100 of us could give $130, then we make $13,000. And that makes a big, big contribution to spreading God's love to our community, to our country, to our world. It helps us continue the legacy of what our church did 130 years ago and what we're going to be doing 130 years from now. If you'd like to be one of the 100 people to give $130, all you have to do is go to our website, fccburbank.org, and click on the Give button. If you don't prefer to give electronically, our address is there, and you can mail in a check. And in the for line or the memo line, if you'll just designate it 130th anniversary so that we can track these to see if we can get this 100 givers. I've already given my 130. Will you give yours? We love each of you. We thank you for all that you've done for us. And we know that God is going to continue to do great things through FCCB, its members, its guests, and its friends. Thank you all.